There are a lot of people who have opinions about who the new GM is or is announced to be or expected to be in the next coming days. But I'm sure there's a lot of opinions about last night with the Steelers and Browns too. 412-575-2600 on the Borders and Borders hotline. Also taking your tweets at Josh Taylor HD. We will start with Paul on the north side. Paul, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Yeah, how you doing tonight, Josh?
Good. How you doing, Paul?
Okay. I've gone to a lot of football games, seen a lot of football games, okay? And Steelers are losing 21-7. They get the ball at their own, 6-7 yard line. There's 15 seconds left. Take the snap, give it to the running back at the end of the game. Why was he throwing a pass with 15 seconds left in the game?
That's a good question.
I would have avoided all of that mess. I think Rudolph was trying to prove something because he threw 4 interceptions. I don't know what he was trying to prove. He could throw 5 maybe. I don't know. But you're not going to score 14 points in 15 seconds.
What I've learned in my experience, and thank you for the call, players are going to run the plays that are called. Why are they calling a screen pass at that point in the game? That's a really good point. If anything, run the ball, take a knee, get out of there. You're down 2 touchdowns. You're lucky to get out of there with a somewhat functioning roster given the players that left this game hurt. And you're right. Maybe in hindsight, with some better decision-making, probably this doesn't happen. And it's hard to argue with that because if he's just handing the ball off, he's probably not getting hit by a defensive end coming off the blind side. So that is something to look into. Let's go to Sean in Beaver. Sean, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Okay. I'm glad we got a new GM and with the Bucks, but getting back to last night, I just heard some things, and I am not down with the cops. Two rules on the defensive side. You're going to have helmet to helmet, and I think the new rule, you got to keep your head up. You can't stop the inertia of that guy taking that catch.
Sean, I think we lost you, but I think I get the gist of what you're saying. Couple different things. As far as the criminal aspect of what you were talking about, we found out earlier this evening Mason Rudolph is not going to pursue criminal charges. That's the only way it could progress any further is that he actually has to file charges. Apparently he has decided not to do that. So we probably are moving past the criminal element of it all, but there were a lot of people who felt as strongly as you did the fact that what he did was criminal. I saw a lot of people making comparisons to Marty McSorley and Donald Brashear, and if you remember that incident when McSorley pretty much just took his stick and two-handed into the head of Donald Brashear, and that was a serious situation there, and that did end up in criminal charges coming out. I believe that ended up going into a court situation, and that's one of those things that if you have that feeling, I'm not going to argue with you. But at the same time, I'm not surprised that Mason Rudolph didn't file charges. I guess I can put it that way. As far as the helmet-to-helmet hits go, it's one thing when you have offensive players that are running around with their heads down and defensive players can't avoid it. It's another thing when a defensive player is leading with the crown of his helmet and just smashing right into the head of a receiver. That's what it looked like with Demarius Randall when he hit Deontay Johnson. He got smashed by a guy leading with the crown of his helmet. Now, when Juju got hit, he got actually hit from both sides by 2 different players on either side of him that hit him in the head. So that's a little bit of a different situation. I don't know if it was as clear as it was with Demarius Randall and Deontay Johnson, but the fact of the matter is this. Cleveland got headshots on 3 different Steelers players last night. Mason Rudolph, Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson. 2 guys got knocked out with concussions. It's as clear as that. If there's anything I'm summing it up, that's the way I'm going to sum it up, in that it was something that was happening throughout the course of the game. So that for it to end the way it did, I can't say I'm not surprised, especially the way it was handled by the officials. Let's go to Fonz in Brookline. Fonz, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Yeah, how you doing, Josh, tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good. I went to the pig game last night. I was following up with the Steelers and Cleveland game. When I got home last night, I was watching the pit in overtime, and I put it on ESPN right after they were showing the Miles Gerbert with took the helmet off.
Mm-hmm.
Like like I said, he should be charged and arrested, just like Marty Mashorley did with Donna Brashear. I remember that. He took a stick right on the side of the head and fell on his head, Donna Brashear. And they filed charges. And the league for the college and the pros, college are more secured with the football players, get the helmet of targeting. Why are they not automatically reviewed by targeting?
You mean on the NFL level? Sorry, must have lost him there. I think his question was why targeting isn't reviewed at the NFL level. That's a great question. That's a really good question. Now, there's two edges to that sword, because in the college game, we've seen it, and you brought up Pitt last night, clear example. We saw a player ejected for targeting when his intent was not to try to leave with the helmet to hit another player in the head. He was actually going for the football. So there's the trick to it, because, yes, I think the NCAA is trying to be a lot more proactive than the NFL is, but they got to be a lot clearer with interpreting what they see. I don't think they're as sharp with it, and they've had players get kicked out of games that probably didn't deserve to because of it. But I do understand your premise. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's just, if you're going to be that proactive, make sure you're enforcing it properly to make sure, A, everybody is safe in the game, and B, players aren't getting kicked out that don't deserve it. We've got to take a break. We'll be right back.